this video is in response to all the videos out there on narcissists, on toxic relationships, where, you know, the energy of the video can get you stuck in the feelings of being hurt, of being a victim. It's understandable that you are hurt by what has happened to you, but being stuck in those emotions can really work against you. This video is about acknowledging what has happened to you, but also getting you to a place of love, primarily for yourself, but also looking back on your past as an important stepping stone for you to move forward in your life. To respect the container of the relationship that's ended despite the fact that it's toxic, and that this is an important part in your journey of healing. Would you be healing in the way you are now had you not had a toxic relationship? I'm going to go through the 3 steps today to get you to this place. And step 3 is probably the most important, where everything comes together and you can really release your ex with love. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Amy and I help women who've left a toxic relationship to stop falling for the wrong men and to stop self-abandoning by healing their core wounds at the level of the body so they can be happy on their own and their true authentic self in love. And if this sounds like you, please hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification so you get notified when I post new lessons every week. Before we begin, Heal Your Heart School is open for enrollment, so if you'd like to know how to work with me, make sure you stick around till the end of this video. I watched a video of my ex-partner the other day. He isn't around anymore on this planet, but I was really struck by the love that I still had for him despite how toxic our relationship was. He cheated on me, manipulated me, lied to me for years, and I could have stayed stuck in anger, but it struck me how important coming to a place of love and letting go was important for me on my healing journey. I could have stayed stuck down those dark alleyways of those channels that focus on, you know, how much he's a narcissist and really kind of analyzing and overanalyzing all the aspects of that kind of behavior. But by moving through all of those emotions and really feeling the anger and all of the grief and then getting to a place of love has been incredibly empowering for me. It's given me a lot of grace. It's given me a lot of love for my life and for myself. And I'm not talking about bypassing here. I'm not talking about suppressing or ignoring anything. It's about really feeling it, but letting it pass and move through rather than actually getting stuck. You know, love as an emotion is more powerful energetically than hurt and anger. And ultimately, that's going to set you up for healthy love in the future. Now, with this advice today comes a warning. This kind of practice really takes boundaries and it takes a lot of discipline needed. So if you've just come out of a relationship, you need to go through the grieving stages. You need to feel the anger before you try and get to a place of love in retrospect for this person that you've just left. So time here is your greatest asset. So if you've just broken up, you need to focus on those emotions, allow some time to pass, and above all, the most important thing for you to do if you're at that stage is to go no contact. I cannot stress the importance of no contact when you leave a relationship, specifically a toxic relationship. And if you need help with no contact, I have a 60-day self-love plan that includes a no contact guide here at this link. Just click it below to download it now. So step 1 to getting to this place is to acknowledge the reality of the fact. We've been in a lot of emotion. We've come from a place of deep emotion, getting to a place where, you know, the toxic behaviors and the pain of the situation you've been in is just too much. And it's now time for you to take a cold, harsh look at reality. So allow yourself to feel all the emotions and the waves of grief that are coming up, including all the contradictory emotions. You know, you might swing and sway from intense love for this person you're leaving to intense hatred. And you might swing several times a day, or like me, I spent a couple of days in this part of me and then a couple of days in that part of me. It was disorienting and confusing, but it was a really important time to go through all of that. While that's happening, allow yourself to get to a place where you really focus on the reality. Recognize the truth of the situation and why you're leaving. What are the cold, hard facts of what happened? So write this down. Writing down can really be a chance for us to externalize what's happened rather than to be continually ruminating in our head about something. So just take like a regular piece of paper, just draw a line right down the middle. And on the left column, what I want you to write is what needs you are having met by staying. So if you were to stay in this relationship, what needs would you have met, or what needs have been met? And then on the right-hand side of the column, write what needs aren't being met by this relationship. Write down absolutely everything and ask yourself, would I be willing to stay in this relationship and sacrifice that right column, all of those needs? And why not? Like, really ground in what it is that you deserve. That means you need to leave this relationship for another relationship so that those needs are going to be met. And if you want more practices around exactly getting clear on the reality and weighing up the pros and cons, I want you to watch this video next. Step 2, write your new story. When we let go of a relationship, we often think that we're letting go of our chance at having a family, of this beautiful story where we get to settle down and really enjoy our time with someone and grow old with someone. But in fact, when we're letting go of a relationship, we're not letting go of the story, of the dreams, of the desire that we have. We're just switching out the person that's going to play the role of our partner in that story. So we get to keep the part of the story that we want to, and we get to let go of the other parts of the story, particularly the unhealthy and the toxic parts where you weren't getting your needs met, you weren't feeling seen, heard, understood, and loved, and all of the behaviors that were problematic that led you to leaving. So again, look at that needs column on the right where you wrote all the things that you aren't having met by this current relationship you are exiting. I want you now to take a fresh sheet of paper and write a story of you and your future partner who meets your needs. What are all of the desires that you have in that container, in that new relationship where your partner is meeting your needs? And of course, this isn't just about your needs, what their needs will be and how you meet them and how you fit them too. Often what's most compatible between two people is where both parties can be their natural self and by nature, most of the time, meet the other person's need by just being themselves. And then there might be a few tweaks here and in there where you need to make an effort to extend yourself. But often when you're in a toxic relationship, the incompatibility is so huge where you have to feel like you have to be a completely different person in order to meet their needs. And they might have criticized you for having so many needs and being so needy. And you know that you're only as needy as your unmet needs, right? That person just isn't compatible for you. So write the story where you and your partner 80% of the time naturally can just enjoy each other's company, what you both love to do, how you both love to show love, meets your needs and you meet theirs. You might even choose to write that story of what healthy conflict will look like, what healthy communication will look like around that. Write the story, and this is writing the story of your ideal relationship. This is going to start to embody and anchor in your body the feeling of being connected with someone, even though they're not actually in your life yet, but your body will feel the effects of having that potential future that you're working towards, rather than being in the scarcity of leaving the relationship, which can cause us to get into a bit of a tailspin. So as you're writing this story, I want you to really pay attention to your body. Notice when you're writing it and when you're thinking of certain things, if your body starts to really relax into something, or to give you kind of a little bit of a sigh of safety. Internal safety when considering, when thinking, when looking at something is a sign that that is something that you want, that you need, that is important for you. And if you've been in a toxic relationship, you've probably been living from the neck up. You've probably been overthinking and ruminating, and you might be disconnected from your body. So it's important to start listening to your body and its preferences in life in general, but specifically in terms of what you want to create for your future relationship. This is the process of rewiring your body into a new experience of love that you can do even while you're breaking up. This is a beautiful transition period. There is a lot of power and energy behind you now, particularly all of that pent up, frustrated energy that you want to put towards your ex. You can put it towards your future and what you're going to create. Step 3 is the most important step if you really want to circle back and look at your past and look at your ex and really acknowledge them with love, with big love, with detached friendship love, you know, whatever kind of love you want to look at. But this is the part where you need to make sure you have boundaries and you have discipline. We want to make sure you don't slide back into the feeling of craving them or the feeling of scarcity, that they're the only ones that's going to love you properly. It isn't true. If you ever feel that, go back to step 1, go back to step 2, embody and anchor in that new story of love that you're creating. So step 3, look at this new story and really reinforce in the body what you will have in your future. This is 100% your future because you're making the important decision for yourself to walk away from something that isn't right for you. The only way that you cannot have this kind of relationship in the future is if you stay with your ex and if you stay in something toxic, or if you come across another toxic relationship and you get stuck in that as well. If you start to listen to your body, if you start to learn discernment, watch all the videos on my channel and start to practice this internal feeling and discernment of knowing what is and isn't right for you, it is 100% your chance for the future. So now that you've done that and you've really anchored that, step 3 is looking at your ex, you know, really considering them. They actually have an important part to play in this new future story you have, because you wouldn't actually be having this future story without them, right? You couldn't have had this experience without them. They or he was an important stepping stone to creating this new reality for you, because you didn't know the level of importance of your needs until you didn't have them met by your partner, your ex-partner. You didn't know the level of importance of your desires that you aren't fulfilling with your current partner that you are leaving, your ex-partner. You didn't know how important that was until you didn't have them. You didn't know something was a deal breaker until you experienced it. I mean, we have these kind of vague deal breakers in our mind, whatever that might be, but actual concrete deal breakers where you know in your body you have to walk away, we often don't learn those until we experience them in a relationship that isn't right for us. Now, again, I just want to caveat this. If you haven't had enough space from your ex and this is still really fresh and you're still kind of really missing them and you're really grieving and you're still craving them, this is not the right time to do this exercise. You need to go to my self-love plan and start to do that no contact work and go through the other steps on that guide. Then come back to this video, because these steps can potentially increase your desire for your ex, because we are putting positive feelings and emotions towards them. Our brain and our subconscious primitive mind that still thinks we need to connect to our ex for safety, for survival, has a very clever and sneaky way of flipping things around. You know, what if he changes? What if he could turn into that person, right? We've probably been hooked on his potential for quite a long time, and you're now at the point where so much bad stuff has happened, too much time has passed, you've just seen the pattern recur again and again and again and again and again, and you cannot buy back into the whole, oh, his potential, he might change, he might realize he loves you. So if you find yourself sliding back into this, I just want you to go back up to step 1, to acknowledge the reality, remember exactly why you're leaving him, what's not right about the relationship, and step 2, to write your new story and anchor into your body what it will feel like when you have a healthy relationship. So acknowledging this part and this phase, this season, this relationship in your life is really important despite the fact it's toxic. I see a lot of women really cut off this part from their lives. They kind of like disassociate and just ignore it. And they're actually missing out on an opportunity to evolve and to grow and to take the high road, right? To really like allow yourself to not get stuck in a place of anger or frustration or hurt. Because guess what? When you get stuck in that place with an ex-partner in a relationship you've left, you often will subconsciously, unknowingly bring that baggage into your next relationship, and that can be devastating, particularly if that person is healthy and you want to show up with every good bit of you. This is how you can fully heal and evolve and move on from that. And this is what wholeness is around healing, right? Not axing off parts of our history, not axing off parts of who we are. This is a process of bypass that can cause you to have a fragmented sense of self, an internal fragmented self, where you haven't collected all of the past versions of you and their experiences and kind of brought it into some new meaning. This is the process of doing that, and this is going to allow you to really feel whole and healed as you move forward. This is the process of metabolizing your past relationships, and this is really what conscious breakup is all about. And you don't need to have your ex being conscious in the breakup either. This is a process you can do all on your own. Now, if you want to dive deeper into the healing of these parts, I've just scratched the surface today. I have a webinar in the link below. It goes for about an hour, and I go through the step-by-step process to getting to a place of self-love after a toxic relationship ends. It contains my entire methodology that I teach inside Heal Your Heart School. So click the link below. I'd love to see you in the webinar. I also have a Facebook group if you'd like to come meet me personally. I do lives every week. Just join in the link below. And if you'd like to submit an application for Heal Your Heart School, there is an application link below. You can select a time in my calendar and we will chat on a discovery call. In the meantime, please let me know in the comments below if this has been helpful for you today. I will love to see you in the comments, and anything you have to say about this, about where you're at, I'd love to hear from you. And here are some next step videos for you to watch to help you move one step closer to having an incredible relationship with yourself and your future. And for now, I will see you in the next video.